AskReddit by Booty Off Bright. What is something men don't get to experience in relationship but girls do? I sent my husband flowers at his workplace on his birthday once. Then I kept thinking, I wonder if I had done the right thing. He was the boss and maybe his staff would rib him about them, but he came home absolutely thrilled. He said the female staff members are always getting flowers, but he was the only male who had gotten any. Friends bought me flowers for my birthday last week. I'm a 52-year-old male. Was the first time ever and I thought it was sweet tbh. When I was with my ex, we took a vacation and I loved taking pics of him. I remember when he was looking through some of the pics, and he said, I've never had anyone take pictures of me like this, and he just looked so genuinely happy. I have so few pictures of me. I don't take selfies and I just never have someone in my life that takes pictures of me, so there are what seems like entire years of no photo evidence of my existence. Not a relationship but friendship. My friend brought me salt and chocolate from Europe, and that shit meant so much to me. I've never received a gift from a friend for no reason before. The fact that she was thinking of me when buying gifts just makes me feel lucky. I will treasure our friendship till the day I die, lol. A friend gave me an uranium glass bracelet and I love it. I sent my boyfriend flowers, just because I love him and miss him. No special occasion. I wrote a card in his native language, with some help, and he thought at first that it was either the church he affiliated or maybe his parents. When he read the card and realized it was me, he was very happy and said it was the first time he got flowers, ever. Never seen a brighter smile. Guys deserve flowers too. I drive 2 hours to visit my girl for a few days. When I get off work around 10 PM and she gives me gas money, I almost started crying the first time, LMAO. She's the one. Certain gifts. My GF got me Venus flytraps and they were fucking adorable. Poor adorable. For example, the other day I brought a little lunchbox and a handwritten card to work for my boyfriend. He texted me right away saying this is first time he got a card, how touched he was, how happy he was. Mind you, this guy had a certain number of girlfriends. Little did I expect it to also be a shared experience, a video call with him next morning with all his friends pushing in the screen telling me how happy he was last night and how they all enjoyed my food. Had a GF years back who was really creative and thoughtful with gifts and special occasions. Really miss having someone who cared so much. I always get the better thing. If we're at a show or sporting event, he gives me the better seat. If we split something, he makes sure I get the better half, I get the better plane seat, etc. I try to force him to take the better option, but he will not under any circumstances accept it. This could be an age thing though. We're 44 and 46. Edited to at, I do most of the cooking, so when I plate our food, I will give him the better looking plate. He doesn't know though, so he doesn't know what it's like to experience. I'm that guy. And I do 90% of the cooking, too. So like if one of the steaks got a little overdone, I'll take it, because I know she likes hers medium rare. I'm just following the example from my dad. He made sure everyone else around him was taken care of first, then he took whatever was left over. Food, money for clothes and other necessities. And mostly time. He always made time for whatever his family needed. I bet your guy learned it the same way. When I got engaged I was told don't screw this up or some variation thereof over and over from her family and mine. It was always followed by a chuckle or a slap on the back or just kidding etc, but it got old pretty fast. I've always been a supportive and loving partner. I treat her well. After 7 years of marriage we're just as happy and in love as we were when we started dating, but people still love to use that line. It sucks to hear. I feel this. There's this general perception that as a man you're just lucky to have a wife partner who is willing to put up with you. Generally, being romanced. Romance is something men do to women but women don't tend to do to men. I once gave a guy a rose. I think he thought I was weird though, haha. Gonna admit from experience that it's probably stable affection. Unless a guy is a little unhinged, they'll care even when we physically cannot care about them back, in the middle of a fit. Off. This hits. I was in a relationship for years where this was my biggest issue. I was her favorite person in the world when she was in a good mood, but when anything even slightly challenging was going on with her I was basically 3 Hitlers in a trench coat. I don't think that's necessarily a male-female thing, but god I got so tired of not knowing whether my partner was going to care about me on any given day. Thankfully my current partner is consistent with her affection and care and it allows me to feel free to express constant care and affection back. I feel incredibly lucky and I tell her so every day. I've never came so much that I was hardly able to speak or walk. Fellow male here. I had one GF who made me scream in orgasmic pleasure from oral. To say she was gifted would be an understatement. Unfortunately, she is no longer my GF. Fortunately, she is my wife. Receiving flowers. On a platonic level, I give most of my male friends flowers for their birthday and it's so wholesome to see their reaction. TLDR, give men flowers. I don't think I've ever had a flower given to me, not sure how I would even react to someone buying me flowers. Being picked up and carried. I don't know why, but this is the first one that actually kinda made me feel something. I'm a 5'11" dude who's always been 170-200 pounds. I prefer short girls, so it's unlikely I'll ever get picked up by a partner and carried somewhere. It was a nice feeling as a kid. I am so unused to gifts that I actually don't like receiving them. Smile and say thank you. Bonus points if you look at them at the same time. Being able to tell your partner that they did something which upset you without having to apologize to them afterwards. You have to keep them on topic. If they try to bring up unrelated stuff you did, get them to stop deflecting. Calmly say I would like to talk about what is upsetting me and walk away from this conversation feeling heard. Can we please do that? My BF borrowed one of my baggy hoodies last week to take our trash out real quick. When he came in, he said how this must be how girls feel when they steal their BF's hoodies. He didn't want to give it back. Just once in my life, I'd love it if the woman I was romantically involved with actually spent money on me. A surprise video game or Lego set, or any pristine non-practical thing I wouldn't normally buy for myself. Don't get me wrong. I fully recognize that plenty of men do, in fact, get spoiled by their SOs. It just seems like 90% of the time, it's usually the men doing the big gift giving, while women will just throw sex at you and call it good. I once saw a chat room thread of a girl asking other girls what kind of car stereo she should buy her BF for Christmas. I remember just staring at it, thinking no GF would ever do this for me. That was 20 years ago and no one ever has. These comments make me realize men are so deprived. I get my partner flowers, write him love notes, create hand-drawn art, plan dates, get him nice gifts, sometimes just because. It's sad that so many don't get this even once. You are a good girlfriend, keep it up. The understanding and acceptance when sex is not wanted today. Men can often get angry when they are refused, but most women get verbally and sometimes physically belligerent and accuse him of cheating. Then the man has to apologize for withholding consent. There's a real misconception that men always want sex. Most people don't even think to ask for a man's consent. Being told I'm attractive. Held. Cuddled. Spooned. Being pursued or complimented. I dated quite a bit when I was younger and have been married 6 years. I have no clue what any of these women liked about me. About 4 years into our marriage I asked my wife, admittedly not a super eloquent person, and she said a few things but they were all things I do and not things about me. Vulnerability, being able to be completely open and honest about one's emotions and experiences without it being used against you as soon as things get rough. I don't think I would get laid nearly as much as I do if I lived with my parents. But a lot of the women I end up dating or hooking up with live with their parents, and I don't really care. Regular compliments, men don't get them often. In fact, I still remember a girl who complimented my eyebrows nearly 10 years ago.